Hey guys, Greg Johnston, occupational therapist and CEO of Southeastern Support Care Services. If you've seen any of my videos on my channel, The Occupied Life, you probably have noticed this painting in the background. It was done by a friend of mine while we were living in Bulgaria. My family and I served as missionaries in Bulgaria for about 5 years, and while we were there, we made friends with a young lady who's an artist. Her name's Irri, and Irri actually even gave some art lessons to my kids. So I had a photo that I thought would have made a great painting, and I asked her about it, and she said, "Well, I don't really paint people, but I'll give it a shot." And I think it turned out really great. So the story behind what's happening in this painting is that we went down to a town that our team would go to once or twice a year to connect with a local church and and provide medical services. We'd have a very basic medical clinic set up. And one year we were asked to go across town to a day center um, for young people who had disabilities. So while we were there, we met the young man in this painting. His name is Ivan, and Ivan, um, he had cerebral palsy, had a pretty significant deformity in his spine, and he pretty much just laid in bed all the time. He had a very warm smile, and just nonverbal, but he was just very fun for us to be around, as animated and as engaging as someone can be who's nonverbal and who can't get up and move around. Um, so we really enjoyed him. But um, this is this is probably the first interaction we had with him is represented here. Our team actually planned to create some positioning equipment for him because we thought if we could get him up a little bit higher and we would raise his gaze, he would be able to focus on people, and it would just improve the quality of his life. So we uh, we had a wedge made for him, and we had essentially a side lyre made for him. Now the interesting thing about how that came about was um, a friend of mine, I was explaining to him what we wanted to do, and he said, "Could you build a prototype?" So we built a prototype. I showed him pictures of it, and then he ran into a friend who was a furniture maker, and the furniture maker was making a delivery. He made specialty furniture. He was making a delivery to a veterinarian clinic. They made furniture. Um, they made pieces that were necessary for the vet to put animals into when they did surgery and various things with them. And so the equipment was kind of unique. Well, my friend saw that equipment and he thought, hey, this probably could translate pretty well into the type of equipment I want. Certainly the quality of his build would have been great for that. So my friend shared what we wanted to do, and this furniture builder very generously donated his time and his equipment, the furniture that the pieces that he made for us. They were as high quality as you can get anywhere. We were blown away by it. When we went to deliver this equipment to the day center, there was a lady there, and so we were going to try out the equipment and see how it worked with Yvonne, and a couple of us moved in to sort of try to position him, and we didn't realize that the lady who was standing there, she sort of got in between us, and she didn't speak any English, um, but she was trying to help us, but she was not really being very helpful. We sort of had it, and it was kind of a funny moment where she just looked at us and smiled, and we smiled back, and then she just kind of laughed and just stepped out of the way and let us do what we were doing. Well, it turned out that was Yvonne's mom, and Yvonne's mom was just up visiting during the day, and at one point, as we were doing all this work with Yvonne, she turned to us and she said, of course it was through a translator, but she said, um, I don't understand why you're doing this for him. Maybe if he was younger, um, I could see you doing something, but you know, he's too old. Why are you doing these things? And it was an opportunity for me to speak to her about our motivations and what we were doing. And I just looked at her and said, "Ma'am, your son is made in God's image, and for that reason alone, he deserves our attention." And you could just see the tears welling up in her eyes. She got very emotional, and she just kind of shook her head. She said, people don't think like that around here," which is part of the reason we were there. And I should mention, we were not there alone. We were there on the invitation of Bulgarian church. So there were people who were caring for these families and who were engaged long before we got there. We were just coming along and kind of supplementing what they were doing, trying to help advance the mission of the church. So I just wanted to share that with you, just so you know when you see that picture. Um, to me, it represents a young man who is made in the image of God, and actually the people in this picture with him are a therapist who came for a 1 week trip, and then my wife, who is also a therapist, was there. I'm not sure if I took the picture or not that then became the painting, but you know, obviously I'm not in the picture, but I did witness it all. So anyways, I just want to share that with you. I hope that story can be encouraging to you. Actually, I wrote for my own therapy, really. I wrote a couple of songs about this situation. Now, I'm not going to perform them for you because I don't have musical talent. Maybe someday I'll hire someone to do the songs, and I'll share those with you. But I'm just kind of you know, sort of learn 3 chords and learn how to make some words rhyme and tell a story. But sort of well, very amateurish, I would say. But anyways, that's the story behind that. So when you see it, I want you to think about that, and you guys take care. Enjoyed sharing this story with you.